welcome to my DIY polymer clay earring tutorial. So first of all, I'm going to start by cleaning my work surface. In your kit you will have had a piece of baking paper. That's what you're going to lay down to be your work surface. I'm working on a ceramic tile. You can use that if you've got one of those laying around. Otherwise, that baking paper is going to be your best friend. So I'm wiping my hands down, wiping my work surface down to make sure that there's no lint. Any kind of lint or dust particles or even oils from your hands, they're going to stick into the clay, so it's important to clean those really thoroughly. So what's in the kit? We have some jewellery pliers, we've got an acrylic roller, some basic depth guides, a toothpick, that's for hole making, and glue and some earring findings. So we'll come back to using those a little bit later, as well as the jewellery pliers, but the rest of it we'll be using at the moment. So the difference between the basic kit and the deluxe kit is separated up the top. So the 4 polymer clay colours and the 3 cutters, they're in the basic kit, and in addition with the deluxe kit we've got the extra 2 colours and 2 cutters as well. So the clay that we're using here is either Sculpey Primo or Sculpey Souffle, and the cutters that are supplied in your kit, they're all from a little small business called Itsy Bitsy Haven. I'm going to start conditioning my clay. So when I say conditioning, it means to soften the clay up so it's in a workable form. The clay, it's been sitting still and we need to get those plasticizers moving. So polymer is a type of plastic, and I'm rolling, I'm twisting, I'm pushing, pulling, trying to fold it, twisting to get that clay a little bit warmer and malleable. So in the end, what I want to be able to do, how I know that my clay is conditioned and it's ready to go, is if I fold it over and I don't have any obvious cracks or anything going on. So here, this clay still needs quite a bit of work. It is one of the more time-consuming parts of getting set up. So once your clay is conditioned, then it's workable. I can roll it out into a flat slab and put designs in it, or cut my earring straight out if I just want to use a flat colour. So I've got my little sausage there, giving it a little bit of a tug, bit of a wiggle, bit of a fold, and making sure it's nice and workable. So you want it to feel almost like a Play-Doh, not quite as sticky as Play-Doh, but you want it to be nice and easy to mould. So giving it a little bit of a roll, fold. It's one of the more time-consuming parts of getting set up, so this is another reason why you don't have to colour mix. I mean, you can if you want to, but our colour palettes that are selected for these DIY kits, they're ready to go, because as well as conditioning your clay, when you're colour mixing, you have to make sure your 2 colours have moulded together. Unless you're going for like a marble look, you want your colour to blend really nicely. So almost finished now. We're getting there. So before I roll it out into a flat workable piece called a slab, what I want to do is roll it into almost a ball, kind of sausage, squish it out a little bit, because when I put my depth guides on either side and roll it out, I don't want to have any fold marks or any cracks in it. I want to have a flat, even surface on the back and on the front. So rolling it out, the depth guides on either side make sure that your clay is an even thickness all the way through. You can see I'm rolling a little bit, picking it up, and then putting it back onto my tile. You'll be using your baking paper, moving it around and rolling it again. So that's just so I can get it out nice and even. I've got my clay cutter and I'm just pressing it in, cutting out my clay pieces on your baking paper sheet, because the clay isn't going to stick, just like has just happened there. Your clay may stick a little bit inside your clay cutter. Just be careful to pull it out nice and softly. I like to roll my clay pieces around my fingers. It just smoothens any edges and it saves you on sanding a little bit later on. I've got a triangle cutter here doing exactly the same thing. I'm cutting out my clay piece. Again, that's stuck in there a little bit. I'm just being nice and gentle, easing that clay out. If I pull it too hard, because my clay is soft and conditioned, it's going to distort the shape, so you need to be quite careful when you're doing that. Cutting another triangle piece out now, and again easing it out, and I'm just going to also smooth the edges out on that a little bit, just so it's going to save with sanding later on. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the little cutout marks of my clay cutter pieces on my tile. That's going to happen on your baking paper too. What you can do is grab your clay and just rub it straight off. It comes off, roll your clay into a ball, and you're ready to keep making with that piece again, as long as you roll it into a ball so that you don't have any of those folds or creases in it. You can lay your depth guides on either side and roll it out ready to go, or you might like to set it to the side to put another design on it later on. So I'm going to roll mine out, and I'm going to use the other circle cutter on that one in a minute. In the basic kit, the 2 circles and the triangle cutter, they're awesome for studs. That larger circle that I'm using now, they will be quite a large stud, or great for the bottom of dangles. The other 2, we've got the arch and the mini circle. That mini circle is not going to be great as a dangle topper, so just bear that in mind, that that one will just be used for mini circle studs. So this is part 1 in a 5-part video series on how to make your polymer clay earrings. In the next video, we'll cover how to put the holes into your polymer clay to turn them into dangles or hoop attachments. And we'll also go over some different designs that you might like to try to put into your polymer clay, so that you're not just using a plain colour. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.